Hello! So I have this really bad habit that has been affecting my life since I was small. I overthink everything. Wow, Beth, you're so special, because no one else in the world overthinks or has anxiety. Fair, but I think I take it a step further. If you've seen my other videos, you can kind of pick up on how neurotic I can be. What with going from a monotone to over-exuberant speech and with the sim hands. Just small tics that clue you in on the madness within. So no, I don't think I'm alone in overthinking in the general sense where you have this horrid stream of self-defeatist thoughts like, that felt like a really bad first impression. I think I squeezed his hand too hard. But why should it matter what he thinks of me? Well, I guess because you could tell people that I'm some kind of social deviant who should be avoided. And then I'll be alone. And if I'm alone, I can't get a job. And if I can't get a job, I can't buy food. And if I can't buy food, I'll die. Oh my god! My whole life is gonna be determined by that one sweaty handshake. And it doesn't help that I tend to overthink what I'm trying to say. It's like when you're trying to type something out and you just keep backspacing the words because you thought of a better way to say it, but then you realize you just left the thought unfinished, so you want to go back and be committed to your first thought, but now you just yourself over by starting two separate sentences. And that's just the tip of the iceberg in my problem of overthinking. As well as like the previous mentioned stream of self-defeating thoughts, I also have this like addiction to complexity. One time, I got myself stuck in a toilet stall and my instant chain of thought was to use the toilet as a stepping block to heave myself over the side of the stall so I could Assassin's Creed my way out of the restroom rather than just, you know, crawling under the stall door. I don't know why I always look for the most convoluted answer to a problem rather than the most simple. Maybe my addiction to complexity is just me trying to look smart. I think I started overthinking everything in middle school. Wow, Beth, you're so special. Let me have this. I think that most people start overthinking around middle school because that's when puberty kicks in, and so you have to pay attention more to peer groups, and so you start to overthink like, so we're just gonna judge each other by our looks now. Okay, that's fine. I can play that game. No, I can't play that game. How do I know what people I fit in with? I don't even know what kind of person I am, so how do I know who I'm gonna fit in with? So for me, I started being homeschooled in middle school, so I didn't really have peer groups. I didn't actually really leave the house for the first few years of homeschooling. So for me, my overthinking was more like, so to cope with the sound of the void, I started making daily lists and schedules. So when I become interested in something, I want to learn like every little thing about it, and so I'll make all these lists of what subjects like correlate to the one subject that I'm trying to learn, which is one, time consuming, and two, not fun for the people around me. Which brings us to today. So I've been thinking about which of the 16 personality types is most likely to do which type of art, and I made a list showing how the 16 types correlate with the 4 main types of art. You wanna see it? Not really. I'm gonna show you anyway. Friends who are close to me are pretty aware of why I ask weird questions and I make these weird lists, but for people who are just getting to know me, it's like, do you know which of the 4 humor styles you use most? I don't know, Beth. Do you even know the answer for yourself? Well, I made a list. Actually, it's a spreadsheet. Going across are all the different humor styles and going down are all the ways they correlate. So combine my bottomless pit of thoughts with the backspace speech, with my complexity addiction, with my lists, and then my process of overthinking looks kind of like. Hey Beth, do you want to go to the store? So yeah, that is my entire process of overthinking. Now I bet you're wondering, what was the point of all this? Why am I so raspy? The point of all this is, for the past few years, I realized that I was really lonely and unhappy, and I was just making myself more lonely and unhappy by trying to think my way out of it. And I've come to realize that the 2 things that help you kind of get out of that cycle of anxiety is by hanging out with people and by trying new things. So if you find yourself in this similar kind of cycle of anxiety and overthinking, I would suggest doing those 2 things. Because your friends are going to make you feel a lot better. They're going to give you more ideas for whatever you're trying to overthink. And you're never going to know if something is bad for you if you're scared of it unless you actually try it. So from here on out, I am going to try and experience life rather than just overthink it. Hey everybody, isn't it wonderful? She's got a list, run!